So I'm worried about my children's future, and if you're a parent watching this, you should be too. So everything I do is to better my children. I want my children to have a great life. I want my children to always be safe. I want my children to have choices. And unfortunately, many parents are feeling stuck. They don't know how to provide that for their children. So if that's you, I want you to listen to some of the things that are going to go on over the next few years and what you need to do to make your children safe. So 8 years ago, I was in a different position. I had just newly come out of a divorce, and anyone who's gone for a divorce knows how painful that can be when you've got small children involved. I'd moved into a rented house. I was in 24 grand worth of debt. My credit rating was awful. I was struggling living month to month. I didn't have enough money. I was constantly adding more to debt. And I was looking at my kids thinking, how can I provide you with a great life? How can I set you up for the future? I was completely stuck. Fast forward 8 years, I built an £8.2 million property portfolio. I've got multiple businesses, and now I can provide my children everything I want. But not only that, I can secure their future. So in this video today, I want you to understand some of the risks that are being presented for you and your children, and then what you can do to make sure that your children are safe and they have the best choice in life. Because that's all we want as parents, isn't it? To give our children everything so they can go forward and they can have a great life. So when I look at the world today as a mum, I feel a mixture of gratitude and fear. I'm really grateful that I found property and I was able to help me and my children be financially safe and secure. But also I feel a lot of fear for those people that haven't yet found it and they don't know what to do and they're feeling stuck. So the system is failing us, and it starts off with our government. So our government promised to build 300,000 homes a year, and they promised this back in 2017 when Philip Hammond, Chancellor of the Exchequer, stood up and he said, we've got a problem with housing, don't worry, we'll fix it, 300,000 homes a year. Yet up until today, they still have not ever hit that target once. This year alone, they're going to be 100,000 houses short. So imagine, since the 1970s, we've been building less and less houses. 2017, we wake up and realise we've got a massive housing crisis. We say we're going to fix it. We set a target and we don't hit that target once. Not once. Labour have come in, and the really frightening thing about this is Labour have come in and planning applications are down. And what really made me sit up and think is last year, we built less than 200,000 new homes. We've already got a mega housing crisis. We only build 200,000 new homes, yet 600,000 people came at net migration to the UK. We just can't keep up with the demand of housing, which is massive for every single person in this country and for our children growing up. And the thing that really made me sit up and listen was I work with developers who are developing, new blocks of apartments, new build homes, because they're part of the solution to put more houses back out onto the market for us. And the developer says, he said, I'm not going to really doing anything for the next 2 years. I was like, why? He said, oh, there's so much red tape now with Labour. There's this new thing they've introduced, so it's going to take nearly 2 years to get anything done. And he said, and it's going to cost a lot more money. It's making new builds unviable for me to build. And he said, it's not just me. A lot of developers in the UK don't want to build right now. The thing is that they're finishing blocks of apartments that they've been building for the last 2 years. They're finishing about this year. After that, we're going to have a massive gap where there's no new housing. So already in a massive housing crisis, we're not building new homes, planning applications are down because of all this red tape and then no housing. What's that going to mean for housing in general? It is going to rocket. It is going to mean housing is one of the most expensive things in the UK. So like me, you might be thinking, blooming hell, how on earth are my kids going to be able to afford a house when they're older? I mean, I've sorted my children. I've bought houses. I own houses now and I've got tenants in them. They're going up in value. They're making me an income. But I do worry about the children's future when we have such a massive housing crisis, and the government won't fix this, but you can fix it. You can start investing in property now to safeguard your children in the future. The next thing I've got an eye on is artificial intelligence, and what is this going to mean for the job market over the years as AI develops? The worrying thing is schools at the minute are not delivering what we need for our children to help them with the changing world. In 10 years' time, the world's going to be different, and schools of today are not preparing our children for this. That's the first thing. The second thing is it is scary, the amount of jobs AI is going to knock out. Now, I'm not doing this to frighten you. I'm doing this to wake you up because I have got a solution for you. But think about it. AI is going to knock out taxi drivers, bus drivers, Probably train drivers we won't have in the future. What else won't we have? Well, we're not going to need admin. We already don't need copywriters. It's going to knock out and change the game for so many industries, making thousands of people unemployed. Or yet, the frightening thing is, this year, more undergraduates than ever haven't been able to get a job. So these people have gone to uni, got degree educated, they're coming out of uni, they can't get a job. Why? A lot of the top firms are replacing graduates with AI. Now that's a frightening thing for your children's future, isn't it? How are they going to make money and how are they going to do what they want to do when they get older, when the game's going to change? Schools aren't preparing for them. Are you preparing your children for the future that lays ahead? So the third thing I'm really conscious of is inflation. And inflation is a silent killer of your finances, and most people don't spot it. So I speak to most parents, and most parents are working really hard and they're trying to do their best to provide their children with everything that they're going to need. So they're saving money, paying off the mortgage, paying into a pension, and they think this is going to make them safe. It's hard work now, they don't have enough disposable income, but they think overall this will make them safe, and it's so wrong because you put money in the bank, you save money, and what's happening is the bank's giving you 3% interest on that money, inflation's at 6%, so the money in the bank is losing buying power every year. It's going down in value every single year. So it's one of the worst things you can do is save. Most people don't understand this, but what you need to do instead of saving is get that money out and get it used and get it to make you more money. That's the only way you're going to survive and beat inflation. So inflation is punishing the people that want to play it safe. Playing it safe maybe worked 50, 60, 70 years ago. It doesn't work in today's world. So right now, families aren't thriving. They're just surviving day in, day out. Why? Cost of living is so high. And most people, their salaries won't ever catch up for the cost of living. So they're always finding it hard every single month. And you might be one of them where you get paid and you're rich for a couple of days, all your money gone, and then you have to wait till the next payday. And it constantly feels like you're never truly getting ahead because you're just waiting for the next payday. And while you're waiting for the next payday, what do? We're smacking that credit card, aren't we? So we're building up bad debt because we can't afford to live because we're just not earning enough money. That's the point. We're not earning enough money. And what we have to do is realise that the old model doesn't work. Go to school, get a good job, work up the career ladder, pay off your mortgage, pay off your pension. It used to work 70 years ago. It does not work today, and it's not ever going to give you a life that you deserve or your children deserve. So what's the solution, Abby? You're giving us all these problems like AI, inflation, cost of living, housing crisis. What's the solution? The solution is you need to play a different game by different rules to keep up with what's happening today. So what I did that changed me and my kids' future is I learned about assets. That you buy assets that go up in value and give you a passive income. The assets I chose was property. So me and my children, we bought houses. I didn't start off with any money. I leveraged other people's money to be able to buy the houses. And now me and my children can live off my passive income from my £8.2 million property portfolio. We're safe because housing is a basic human need. AI can't take it out. So we're always going to be safe. And I've got houses for my kids when they grow older. I don't need to worry about my children getting on the housing ladder. I think the biggest thing that we did was we learned what rich people do. Because all our lives we're taught from our teachers and our parents, and who are they? Normal people. And they're teaching you a financial model that doesn't work anymore. And I had to look to those people that had made a lot of money, that were living their best life, that were free, that didn't have to work. And I had to see what they did differently. And there's a few things they did. The biggest things they did was invest in assets to give them passive income. Assets that they can hold for the future. They did it via limited companies, so they're tax efficient. Those properties give them a passive income, so they don't need to work and they can do what they want to do, what inspires them every day. And that changed the game for me and my kids. So here's the hard truth. If you don't act now, it could be too late. Property prices are rising and continue to rise, especially right now with interest rates coming down. The property market is booming. And in a country where you don't have enough housing and you have so many people wanting the housing, it's supply and demand. It's going to push the prices even higher. Property prices are going up. They're not going to slow down. This opportunity won't be here forever. And the hard truth is you need to act now if you want to cash in on 2025 property and help build a future for your children. that you want for them. So if this message hits home to you, if you really want to create a different future for your children, then what I'd love you to do is join me for my free 90-minute workshop. I'm going to be going over what you should be doing, what rich people do to make more money, how you can cash in, how you can get hold of assets to provide you with a passive income so you don't need to be worried about AI, you don't need to be worried about what the governments do because you're the one keeping you and your family safe. So click the link below in the description of this video or the pinned comment and come and join me for my 90-minute free workshop where I'll show you how to create wealth for you and your children to give your children a better future. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. I know we've hit on some really hard things and some stuff you probably don't want to think about and you've been burying your head in the sand, but at least you know now and at least you've got the choice of what you want to do. But thank you so much. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel and let me know in the comments what you think.